About a month ago or so, I did a review video for the Whole Cake Island arc, and in the very end of that video, I talked about what I'm looking forward to most and hope to see within the Wano arc. And seeing how I just finished Wano, the day I'm recording this, I wanted to go over and see if Wano is the best arc in One Piece. Note that while I'm talking about and reviewing Wano, my current favorite arc in all of One Piece right now is Annie's Lobby. So I want to see if Wano will become my new favorite arc in all of One Piece. First, I want to talk about the emotional impact of this arc. Low-key, it was so sad, I definitely shed a few tears. For example, that scene where Orochi was giving Okebori Town a bunch of Smilo fruits with them thinking it was regular apples broke my soul. And Orochi said he did it for fun. He did it for the giggles. Imagine being forced to only smile and laugh. That is so unbelievably cruel. And on the topic of fruits, let's talk about someone who ate one of these fruits and suffered so much and made me cry every time they were on screen. My girl, Toko, or Otoko, whatever one you want to pronounce. In this show, give me one scene where I can laugh with Toko and it's an actual genuine laugh. I swear every time Toko's on screen, after the death of Lord Yasui, it's just depressing. And just on the topic of Lord Yasui, his death was so emotional. So, I don't want to talk about this depressing stuff no more because Wano has a lot, and I mean a lot of depressing stuff that I can talk about, and I don't want this video to be too depressing. So, let's talk about something really epic and hype. Let's talk about all the amazing fights. I'll be, keeping this brief and only talking about the Straw Hats fight and one extra, main fight, because there's so many, minor fights in this show that I just really can't talk about them all, or else this video is going to be way too long. So let's start it off with one of the most popular fights in this arc, for good reasons. It's a good fight. We have Sanji versus Queen. This was a very, very solid fight. Honestly, Queen is probably the funniest character. The things that come out of this man's mouth are hilarious. Other than that, I hate Queen. I simply hate him. Anyone that Chopper hates, I'm forced to hate, because Chopper's my favorite character and I would do anything for Chopper. So if Chopper hates someone, I have to hate someone. So Queen goes on the list of characters I hate because I love Chopper. Right next to Dr. Hogback and Caesar. But the overall fight between Sanji and Queen was really, really cool and good character development for Sanji. For example, we have moments like Sanji coming to accept the new Germa power. He lived his entire life hating, but he's now forced to accept that it's now a part of him and he can't do anything about it. We have Sanji crushing the raid suit. Sanji unlocking his blue fire version of the Dianle Jamba. Oh my god, that was so cool. I love that. And Sanji saving that girl in her mouth from Queen. Because we had that whole side plot of being confused, who attacked her, and then Sanji saving her and defeating Queen in the process. Peak cinema. Love that. I love that. Overall, this fight is just such a great fight for Sanji's character, and it really boosts the rates of Sanji's character. The Whole Cake Island arc was a great arc for Sanji. It was just a great arc for Sanji's character, and this fight improved on his character, which I really loved. Now, to a much smaller fight that didn't really take up that much screen time, we have Jinbei versus Who's Who, and all I gotta say about this fight is that Jinbei has my respect. He knows how to deal with a racist. The next fight in the show was actually a Robin fight. Now, if you're not at Wano right now, why are you watching this video? You're going to get spoiled. I'm pretty sure I've already spoiled you on a few things already. So, I don't know why you're watching this, but this is pretty sure, if I recall right, Robin's first ever fight. Robin versus Black Maria was okay. I wasn't the biggest fan of it. I didn't hate it. It was fine. I love the new form Robin got in the Devil Robin form. I don't know how or why she can do that, but it was really, really cool. And it also really embraced that nickname that people keep calling her, the Devil Child or Demon Child. I forget which one it is. But it embraces that, so maybe that's why. People calling you a name can give you a new form or something. Other than that, I just felt like this fight was kind of an excuse to plop in some fan service. That wasn't needed. Black Maria, low-key, an annoying character. only purpose is fan service, and characters whose whole purpose is fan service, I tend not to like. Now, back to like the big fight. We have one of the most important fights in the entire arc. We have Zoro versus King, and this fight popped off so incredibly hard. I can't believe it. I love this fight. I really love it. I love Zoro, trying to tame Enma. I love Zoro unlocking the King of Hell. Such a cool title and I guess form. I don't know. What is it? What is King of Hell actually? Is it like a form or something? I don't know. I liked the backstory that King got. I feel bad for him at the same time. I want the Straw Hats to win, so I can't really do nothing about it. And that little face reveal that he had was cool. I already knew what he looked like because I've seen, I've been spoiled, and I've seen people try and dub over the fight, so I've already seen his face, but it was a cool way to reveal his face. Also, the way Zoro found out how to damage him shows Zoro isn't as stupid as he intends to be. And then we have the animation of this fight. Don't even get me started. That was probably some of the best animation that One Piece has ever given us, besides episode 1015, but nothing's going to top episode 1015, up to the point that I'm at. Plus, I just feel like Zoro's fight just shows which character out of Sanji and Zoro Toei Animation likes more, because I'm not saying Sanji's fight wasn't well animated, but it seemed like they put double the budget they did for Sanji's fight. Now, probably, most likely, my favorite fight in all of Wano, and is definitely in my top 10, or maybe even top 5 favorite fights, Long Kid versus Big Mom, was just so incredibly peak. I cannot believe how good this fight was. I love the small jokes that were thrown in this fight. Like, for example, Kid and Law just constantly bickering, saying all that stuff. That was fun. And then the fight itself, awesome. Like, actual peak. Firstly, we have that one episode where we get that scene where we follow Law around as he teleports and damages Big Mom. That was so hype. Then, Kid's over here building mechs and bulls and whatnot. Up off, Kid, I guess. I don't know, you were damaging Big Mom with it, so keep doing it. By far, the best part of this entire fight, when Kid used his final attack to finish off Big Mom, and Law, pulls out a move that he made inspired by Corzone's Devil Fruit, and said possibly the coldest line in that entire fight, and maybe even in the entire arc.
Scream into the void. We've heard enough.
That was so incredibly tough. Probably the reason that Law is my second favorite character in all of One Piece. Now, for the last main fight of the arc, we have Luffy versus Kaido. That was also so peak. It showed me that Kaido is literally a beast. I mean, they're called the Beast Pirates for a reason, but Kaido is an absolute beast with how many attacks he was tanking and how many people it took to finally finish him off. And now, there were some parts where I was really confused because there were parts where the Akazaya Samurai took him down, but then he got back up, and then Zoro, Luffy, Killer Kid, and Law took him down. He got back up. I was so confused, did Kaido lose that fight? But just get back up and continue fighting? But when it got to that final matchup, final round of Luffy versus Kaido, that was so good. That was perfection. We have Kaido being Kaido, the absolute monster that he is. One thing I want to add, why does Kaido only know 3 moves? His Blast Breath, Thunder Bangla, which he needs to use a lot more. But then he has that one move where he becomes a tornado, throws slices. He's the world's strongest creature and you only have 3 moves. The spotlight of that fight was definitely Luffy awakening his Devil Fruit and getting Gear 5. It blew my mind. Even though I was spoiled and I already knew what Gear 5 looked like and all this stuff, I still desperately love this form, and that's probably one of the reasons I love this fight. I love it when a more serious show has the time to put in a goofy and cartoonish vibe into a serious moment. You don't believe me? It was goofy enough? I'm pretty sure Kaido's eyes popped out of his skull 3 or 4 different times. It was a great arc. Plus, all the characters, almost all of them were fun and enjoyable. And I say almost because there are a few characters that I just couldn't stand in this arc. Some characters being Orochi, self-explanatory. Kanjuro I liked for a bit, but then after, Kanjuro became that filthy traitor, I just instantly lost respect for him. Even though he was a really well, balanced and written character, I just lost respect for him. And then, hot take, Momonosuke, for quite a bit of this arc, I didn't like. The second that Momonosuke had that moment where it kind of like, what's your name? My name is Kozuki Momonosuke! After that, then Momonosuke started to pop off and I started to like him. But before that, I couldn't deal with him. Momonosuke was so annoying. Like, I get, he's a kid. Alright, I get it. But at the same time, you have a goal of saving your country. How are you going to save your country when all you do is complain, take advantage of Nami, and cry? Oh, hi kitty. We're talking about One Piece. You like One Piece? I think the cat likes One Piece. Why else would the cat be here as we're talking about the One Piece? Right? Right. The only other, point I have to add that's good about Wano, or really not about Wano itself, just more about some of the characters. Rest in peace. One Piece fans keep saying One Piece doesn't kill off enough characters. That's a lie. Wano arc killed off so many characters. Izo. Poor Izo. Matter of fact, poor Marco. Marco was losing everyone. What's next? The next Whitebeard pirate we're gonna get introduced to is probably Vista. He's gonna die. Cause why not? Let's kill off all the Whitebeard pirates. Josu's probably gonna die. Vista's probably gonna die. A bunch of other Whitebeard pirates are probably gonna die. Like, Marco cannot catch a break. Now, those were all the positives of Wano. I just want to say a quick few downsides that I just didn't like about Wano. One, it was a quite lengthy arc, and the only reason I was able to finish it that fast, and that fast being a month, Wano is almost 200 episodes, and I finished it in a month. It took me 3 months to finish Black Clover, by the way. The reason I did that is because I was locked in. I was trying to watch 5 to 10 episodes per day. And also, this was the summertime. When I was watching Black Clover, it was like mid-school. Like, I was in the middle of school, so I couldn't really have time to watch it. So that's probably why it took me 3 months. But the only other downside to Wano, besides its length, which really isn't a problem, it's just something that people, for some reason, complain about. The biggest downside to Wano that I can think of off the top of my head is kind of the pacing. Now, I don't really say pacing, it's just the amount of times that we, the viewer, are forced to see flashbacks. I can guarantee you, 20% of Wano is flashbacks. Now, the original Odin flashbacks were awesome. Those were great. But I'm talking about the flashbacks where, in the moment an episode happens, and then later on in the arc, we get flashbacks back to that moment. I hate when One Piece does this because they do it in such a horrible way. Like, they'll take the moment, do a flashback, and then proceed to add basically the rest of that episode in. Like, all we needed to see was Odin getting shot. We didn't need to see the entire rest of the episode. Or they do this thing where they'll show a flashback, and then oh yeah, cool, I remember that. But then they proceed to show that exact same flashback for the next 10 episodes. I hate when shows do this, because they did it with the Asta and Yuno fist bump. I hate when shows constantly use the exact same moment for a flashback, because it takes away the emotional and, just the intensity of the moment. It takes it away. Like, I don't want to see Odin get shot for the 7th time. I don't. It takes away from the emotional value. Like, at first I'm like, oh no, Odin! No! I knew you died, but no! But then, after watching him get shot for the 5th time, I'm like, wow. It's sad, but I've already seen it so many times, there's not really much that I can do about it. It's just kind of existent. Then again, this isn't really a problem with Wano, it's just a problem with One Piece in general. One Piece has a habit of just showing the exact same flashback or backstory over again. Like, Dressrosa, pretty sure 30% of Dressrosa was Rebecca's backstory. You could have cut out 30% of Dressrosa, and it would have been a lot shorter because almost all of it was Rebecca's backstory. That was really annoying. And I'm not one that complains about pacing. Pacing is the last thing I look for to complain about in a show. Pacing does not bother me one bit. But seeing the exact same thing over and over and over and over again does bother me a lot. I want fresh content. I don't care if it happens fast or slow or whatever. I just want fresh content. I don't want to see the same thing 5 times in the span of the same episode. I just can't do it. So, this is day 2 of recording my review for the One Piece arc Wano, because the reason I'm doing day 2 is because the second I stopped my recording for my last part, I instantly got sick. I don't know what happened, but I got sick, my throat started feeling like really stuffy and stuff, and then like I went downstairs, got a really bad headache. The next day, my throat felt worse. I got a really bad headache the entire day. I made a community post that I'll put on screen right now. So, but I feel a lot better now. So I thought that Kat should probably leave me alone as I'm recording a video. So I thought that I should, because I feel better, I should probably finish my Wano video, because I did promise it, and I don't really like lying when I say I'm gonna post the video, even though I do it quite a lot. And we'll just finish the Wano video. So let's do it. Other than that, that's all I have to really say about Wano. So, is it better than Enies Lobby? Will it become my new favorite arc? To answer that, simply, no, it will not become my new favorite arc. Simply put, I have too much attachment to Enies Lobby, with my past self just relating to Robin too much, saying she wants to die and that she's pointless and she doesn't deserve all this. Now, Wano is 100% my second favorite arc. But if Wano fixed its few problems that it had, it might have been my favorite arc. But, yeah. So, this means I have one final arc I need to watch before I'm fully caught up with One Piece, that being Egghead. So, I'll do a review video for Egghead when I finish it. Now, this part of the video is not related to the review video, so you don't have to watch it. It's just a few announcements I have to make. First announcement, for everyone who's been waiting for my top 50 opening video, sorry, I'm cutting it down again, I know, but I'm cutting it down to my top 25 openings, as there's just too many openings that I like for a top 50. And it's going to be really hard for me just to pick and choose 50, when I can barely eliminate 22. So I'm only doing my top 25 openings, but you may be saying, oh, isn't 25 going to be harder because there's so many more openings that you have to eliminate? Not really. Actually, I think it's easier because I can only do openings that I feel are a 9 out of 10 or higher. So it's kind of easier in a way, because most openings I rate an 8 out of 10. Almost every opening I rate an 8 out of 10 because everything starts out an 8 out of 10 for me. Every time I try to watch a show, listen to a music track, or really anything I do, I always give it the ranking 8 out of 10 before even watching it. Then, after I finish it, then that'll determine my ranking. So most things are ranked 8 out of 10 for me. Number 2, my most popular series for YouTube Shorts, ranking every opening of blank series, will return soon, as I've watched a lot more animes, and I can rank a lot more openings. This will consist of, right now, Apothecary Diaries, Mob Psycho, and I gotta figure out what else I've watched because I kind of forget, but yeah. The last thing I need to say simply is thank you for all the support. As we come closer and closer to the end of the year, we basically doubled our sub count. In January, we hit 1,000 subs, and then not even like 4 months later, we hit 2K. And now, we're close to 3,000 subs, which is awesome. And I just want to say thank you for supporting my dumb, stupid anime and Pokemon videos. It truly means a lot, and I hope you continue to follow me and watch more of my stupid videos. With that, my name's Pixelmon, and I'm saying goodbye. Till next time.